Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you all doing? Good evening and welcome. Before we introduce Kardisha and host her in here, type your name, where you're from, what what state are you from? Welcome, everyone. Our coaching students do amazing. Like, you guys have no clue how much deals are being done right now within the group. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Yinka Olumorin, and a coach on this beautiful, amazing platform, Acquire Real Estate. What do we do here? We buy properties, we sell properties. No, we're not agents. We're real estate investors. We buy properties for profits. We buy for low and sell for high. We do passive income from properties. We own properties that cash flow on a monthly basis. And that's the reason why some of us do not need to work a 9 to 5 because we get income producing properties. And that effect actually compounds over time. It's hard for you to see a real estate investor who's doing it right and then stops doing it. Because once you get it right, you continue to do it right, and the effects are more obvious as you go. When you stack on one property after another, you're stacking on not just the cash flow, which is what you get on a monthly basis, but you're also stacking up what? Let's see what you guys think about that in the comments. What are you stacking up besides cash flow? Mary said equity. Exactly. Exactly. Equity. So if you're making $1,000 in cash flow, for instance, from one property, another $1,000 from another property, okay, that's very little compared to what's going on. Yes, maybe your income goal monthly is 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever that number is for you to be okay and to be independent of a job. You're working out properties to have cash flow to be able to sort you out where you don't need a job eventually. Because guess what? The job market is interesting, but aside the job market, even if you had a great job, the big deal is taxes. So a lot of your money that you're getting from income goes into taxes. And then the little amount left really is barely enough because of the cost of living, right? Because you've got to pay bills. If you own a house, I'm sure the only thing you're worried about is not just the mortgage. There are definitely other things that come with it. There are medical bills, right? There are utilities, there's landscaping, if you have a home, right? There's a lot. There's childcare, there's groceries. I don't know if you where you do your groceries, you do Sam's Club, BJ's, and how has your receipts changed over the years, especially if your family is increasing, right? If your family is increasing, if you're growing in size, tell me how your receipt has changed over time with groceries and everything by a lot, right? What the way we used to buy things back then is not the same anymore. So, where is all the money going to from your 9 to 5? When it gets to a point where you're working so hard, but it's barely catching up to the demands, then there is a there's a situation. We need help to take care of those situations. We need stuff to work for us. 24 hours is all you have. Maybe you can only or barely handle 40 hours a week, maybe 80 hours a week, some people, right? But by the end of the week, you're basically zoning out. But after 80 hours a week, what if you need more income? This is your loophole right here, basically. Real estate investing is a loophole for you. Because you're not only cash flowing, but that equity, if you're making $1,000 on one property, another $1,000 on another property, the good part is every year, whatever you're making in appreciation alone is a good chunk of equity. Some places are close to 10% appreciation on a yearly basis. If your property value is 25 to 50,000, right? That means every year, if you are at 10% appreciation, every year you're adding another 25,000 to the value of the property. And now we're talking about mortgage pay down. People are actually paying down your mortgage, right? So people pay down your mortgage over time as well. So that's also a big chunk equity. All right. So anyways, that's what we do here. And I am happy to have How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I was just doing an introduction and saying what we do as real estate investors and why we buy properties. So let's get right into the gist of the day. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your real estate investing journey?
Okay, my name is Shardi Chanel. Um, I live in Rhode Island. I'm between Rhode Island and Massachusetts. So real estate investing, I've been doing rentals for a long time, and I just got into real estate investing, I want to say this year. Um, at first, I didn't want to do the flips. I just wanted to kind of acquire more properties or rentals. But then I saw that fixing and flipping is a lot more lucrative. So it's been a journey. I've started out trying to do things off market. It didn't go as well. I was trying to do things out of state. And then I decided to just try to do it where I am. And I actually connected with a contractor to come out and look at a property that I wanted a few months ago. That property did fall through, but he kept me in the loop. And luckily, a property came up that a realtor he knew had a couple that they wanted to sell it off market. So that's how I ended up coming up with this deal, and it worked out very well.
Oh, cool. So it was off market,
This one was off market, yes.
but you had a realtor in between somehow.
Yeah, the woman he knew was a realtor, and she just knew this couple, and I guess they had been trying to get rid of this property for 2 years. They were going through a divorce, and they finally decided, okay, we're gonna go ahead and let it go. But they didn't want to put it on the market because they didn't want everyone to know that they were selling the property and what was going on. So he said, oh, I know someone who's going to be interested. And then I went over, looked at it, and we signed the paperwork the same day.
Mm-hmm. And you would think that everyone would want to put their property on the market because that's where you get the best money, right? The most money. You want to make a lot of money. So when it goes on the market, a lot of people bid, so to speak. If it's a good value property, you're likely to get different bids where people are bidding above each other, and you can make more money, potentially make more money that way. So it's interesting to see that not everyone wants their property on the market. This is one big reason why. Another reason why is if you had like I mean, this is a divorce situation, they like their privacy and, they don't want neighbors asking what's happening, why you're selling. Another reason is, how we have pictures of those properties on the markets in real time. Some people have hoarding situations where they just have like a bunch of things in the house. They're not willing to clean up or clear out anything. It's more like a psychological problem for the most part. And then they feel embarrassed to have their properties listed on the market. And then some people really just don't want to pay the commissions. They want to just be able to have a quicker sale off markets. And there are a bunch of reasons why people would want to sell off market. So if you're looking for a deal right now, you're not finding anything on the market, what's your strategy for off market? So I just wanted to chip that in because people sometimes are not willing to go off market. And I think it's good that you were able to find this one off market.
Yeah.
Plus, off market is really where you see those bigger profit margins like you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is a flip.
Yes, this one's going to be a flip.
Is there a reason why you chose flip over rental?
It was a single family. I've never rented out a single family. So I just said, at this point, I really just wanted to get a flip because I knew profit wise, it's better for me right now. I don't want to manage any more properties right now unless it's like 4 units or larger. So
Mm-hmm.
The single family, I'd rather just do the flip because I need more capital right now more than anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But even if you look on your deal analyzer, for instance, on the Burr side of things, like
Mhm.
what are you saying for cash flow? Doesn't make sense to even keep the property.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. So because it wouldn't make sense, it wouldn't even cash flow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. So tell us what the numbers are. How much did you buy this property for? The purchase price and all the other numbers around it.
Okay, so I came in, I believe, at 425. And we're putting 100,000 in for rehab. And we're going to the market. Any 675, but when it gets closer, depending on how nice it comes out, I might even put it for 7. And then if it doesn't sell or get enough movement right away, then I'll reduce it to 675.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you're not getting that traction is when you intend to move it to 675, and what will be your net profit margin at that point? At
That's
675,
about 78,000.
78,000 in profit.
Yeah.
And what if you were at the price you think it should go for?
At 7, it'll be 100,000.
100,000 in profit.
Yeah.
Cool. About around 102, I think is what you had, right?
Yeah.
On the sheet.
Yes.
What do you think though for the ARV and the properties you're seeing for comps at the higher range at 700,000? Tell me about that. What's going on with that?
So this is the thing, like sometimes I'll look and there'll be, okay, so 3 bedrooms, 2 baths are usually able to hit that price point depending on how well they're done. One just hit the market the other day, 3 beds, 2 baths, and they had a little more square footage and they hit at 715. So I don't think 700 is not realistic. Because then I look at some houses who are up like 1,000 square foot and they're hitting it at 850. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's gonna have to just come down to how nice it is and how nice it shows.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go on higher and then reduce it because I know once you reduce the price, you draw more attention too. So I'd rather do that than go in low and wait for something to happen.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna list it's more conservative is what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm
You
definitely
want to go high and
gonna list
then
at 7, yeah. And then
drop
if
the
it
price.
doesn't, yeah, then I'll drop it because once it's reduced, I notice more people are interested.
Um, we can talk about that later on.
Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about that behind the camera. But yeah, it's good you mentioned that because I didn't know you had the intention of doing that. We'll try a different strategy that will earn you more money.
Okay.
Um, so it's okay. What's your square footage right now?
1123, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying that some 1,000 square foot property, yeah, actually selling at 800,
850. Yeah.
850 for 4 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Mhm. 3 bedroom, but the house was huge and it had a garage. That's what it
Okay.
was. It had a
Okay.
garage.
So you're still quite conservative at 700, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You think so?
We made the kitchen larger and then just converted it to 3 bedrooms and then made the 1.5 bath into 2.
Um,
Yeah.
but it is a pretty expensive area too. I did look at properties in that area, so that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So don't forget to set up your strategy session with Dari as well
Okay.
on the contractor side of things, just to make sure we're vetting the contractor correctly.
Okay.
And also for Dari to review your quotes. Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also your scope of work,
Mm-hmm.
remember? Yeah, so he's gonna need to review your scope of work as well.
Okay.
Right before you go into the project. Okay. So talking about funding,
Mm-hmm.
how are you going about funding right now?
I use my own money for the down payment and then I'm going through. So they're funding the rehab and they're funding the purchase. I put down 10%, they're funding 90. And
Okay, so
then
they're funding 90% purchase?
yes.
And 100%
Rehab.
rehab. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Okay. What kind of interests are they?
This one was not good interest at all. It was like 11 point something.
Yeah, but that's good interest in the world of flip.
Well, you know why I say it's not good interest is they keep sending me emails that there's 8.25%
Yeah,
options. So I'm like, well, why
that's
am
on
I at that?
yeah, so they're gonna say the 30-year products are lower interest.
Okay.
So in their emails, you're probably gonna see 6 points, 879 or something in all the emails, but they're gonna tell you eventually it's for 30-year products, and then the other shorter term bridge loans are definitely higher. And for obvious reasons, you're in and out of the deal. If you're in and out in 4 months,
Mhm.
6 months, it's not really a lot of money for them, you know?
Yeah.
But even on your analyzer right now, if you change that 11% to 8%, you hardly see a big difference in your net profit.
Mm.
And so when people keep running away from interest rates, I feel like it's not necessary because it barely affects your net profit. Hardly, because I mean, what else you want to do? If you had to partner with someone, you're gonna split the profit, right? So would you
Yeah.
rather, pay out a little bit here and there, or, or do you want to just get half of the deal already? So I think 11% is a great deal.
Okay.
Sometimes they go higher, depending on your credit score too. So the kind of deal you get really is credit score dependent. Sometimes, I mean, not on what's going on in your credit, but like what's the score itself. So if you're at the 620, you'll probably get a different quote than if you were at a 700.
Mhm.
Right? So it's very different for everyone. Okay. What is one big advice you would like to give to people? I always ask, based on your journey so far in real estate investing, if you had to give one big advice, what would it be?
Talk about what you do.
What?
Uh, what I mean by that. So when I started doing this, I would talk about what I do to people I'm doing it with, right? The real estate agent, the contractor. But I realized that you never know who knows who, and you never know what connection you can make just by bringing up the fact that, yeah, this is something that I'm into. Someone might say, oh, I know someone, or I know someone who's selling this house. I know someone who's looking to partner with somebody to work on flips. So now I'm a lot more vocal about the things that's going on. In the beginning, I didn't really talk about it unless I thought these people were going to be directly related to what I was doing.
So now
So
you see
yeah,
the benefit.
yeah, I do. Even like when I was talking to a lawyer and he's like, "Oh, we got a lot of investment groups I want to invite you to come down and start joining them." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like he never would have said that if I didn't tell him, you know what I mean, what I was doing. If I just kept it like, "Oh, I need someone to close this loan," then he never would have invited me. So now I'm a lot more willing to tell people, give people more details, I should say. Before I didn't do that.
You're right. And I always tell coaching students, always talk about what you're doing. Tell
Mhm.
people what you do. I mean, that's the way, one good way to raise good partnerships, lifetime partnerships, one good way to hit a jackpot deal.
Mhm.
It is very important to network and to connect with the right people. I
Mhm.
agree with you 100% on that one. And
Mhm.
that brings us to the summits. I know Kardisha is going to be at the summits as well, live in person. If you haven't registered for our summit yet, you should register. Um, I think Meg, do you have the link if you wanted to put the link down there for the summits? Otherwise, we can always post the link separately. But if you're really serious about being successful in real estate investing, you need to have the right people in your corner. Okay. And what are we doing the summit? So our coaching students are going to be there. This program is supposed to be reserved for our coaching students only, but we're extending it with their permission to you guys, to everybody else outside of coaching. We're going to do project tours. Okay. We're touring projects from within the community. We're going to be networking, definitely a more closer knit networking, not like those 1,000 people events that people go to and you hardly meet anyone concrete, right? So you're making real connections here. You're going to be learning a lot different kinds of workshops. And also we have awards for our students who are doing deals. You guys have a lot of plaques to hand out because our students are doing deals. Really, really, really. Um, Definitely food. Let's see you there. If you love fun, let's see you there. But this will be a very big one for you if you're looking to dive into the world of real estate investing and connect with the right people that will help you be better and help you achieve your goals. I don't see any questions. Thank you for sharing your deal. I hope you guys got something from this. I know our questions were straightforward, straight to the point. The she knows exactly how to answer questions, and not like some of us that ramble until we're here all day. So we're done for today. Have a great night, everyone, and see you on the next live. Bye. Thanks again, Kadisha.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.